would really actually like to open for a discussion on one more question to everybody, but then now that I am not really seeing the chat box, so this is a real problem because I would really like everybody to participate in this discussion, but then I will ask the question anyway, so hopefully that my colleague will find a way to bring back the chat box so that we can have the discussion. So my question was, okay, we spoke about the global level collaboration, which is the organization level like FAO and then OECD and CBD. We collaborate together. This webinar is one of the output that we are producing, and then also the based on the discussions from the webinars that we make the common activities planned, and then also conduct the activities together. So this is the global level of the collaboration. And then also that we have actually discussed the national level of the collaboration, the focal points level collaboration. So that same kind of synergies will be created so that then we can actually work together, like Luke was actually answering the questions in the chat box few moments ago about food sector and feed sector, and then make the timing to be adjusted so that at the same time that the decision will come out together with the both food safety assessment and feed safety assessment. So this kind of sector-wise collaboration at the national level is happening everywhere, and then it is being strengthened, and then it has been recognized as an important key factor at the national level. But then my question is that if Kosuke can bring up the slide on the discussion items that I would really like to ask about collaboration among countries, and then FAO or OECD or CBD could help in this sense in terms of the use of the database network and then database community to facilitate the collaboration among countries. So okay, I still don't see the chat box, so I think that Kosuke and Mehad are trying to find out how to bring back the chat box. But then meanwhile that I will ask the active participants to see, okay, I see the chat box, but then it seems like this is from long time ago, isn't it? So it's very interesting. All right. Anyway, I will ask the participants, the presenters, and the active participants to discuss this point. So I will start with the first presenter of today, the Vanessa. Could you tell us that if you work with other countries, I am pretty sure you do because you're from Spain and you're an EU country, and then if you do have a collaboration with other country on this biosafety issue, anything, environment, food safety, and please tell us if that is useful, and then also if the database network or database community could play a role in it. And then after Vanessa, I will move on to Luke to ask the same question. So first, Vanessa, please, and please unmute your microphone to start speaking. Thank you. Are you there?
Yes, hello, good afternoon. Yes, I think collaboration between countries is very useful. I think it's necessary. We have collaborated with other countries, and we have another regional database like joint research center, and we think it could be very interesting if we can share information between international database and regional database, because there is a lot of information that we have in similar information in a lot of databases.
Thank you very much, Vanessa. So next person is Luke. Could you share with us your insights?
Mm, my insight in the in relation with collaboration, no?
Sorry, Vanessa, I was moving to Luke from Canada. So
Sorry.
sorry, thank you very much, Vanessa. No, no, it was really wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, Luke from Canada, could you share with us your insights on the collaboration between countries and then also the possibility to use the database network to facilitate such collaboration?
Well, thank you very much, Masami. Let's look at different example because it all depends on the goals. If you're looking at the goal of low-level presence, I think you probably has the database that was created, the FAO database, is a step in the right direction. Uh, just so you know, in terms of collaboration, we have mentioned this at the OECD, the last task force meeting. But we are kind of doing some joint bilateral work with Australia. We're a like-minded country, so it's a lot more involving in terms of developing trust between countries. Recognizing the way we do safety assessments and things like that. Uh, and to get to that point, because I remember the colleague from Argentina, Andres, asking about, well, could you actually consider like doing fast approval for things that are on the database? Well, for me to get there, to be comfortable doing that, you probably need to have a good working relationship with the country, that you have, examined, did a thorough comparison of your the way you evaluate. I mean, the nice thing about on the food side is that we have Kodiak. We use pretty much the same approach to doing safety assessment. We realize that a lot of the information is transportable, so it's coming to that point where it's just this trust building. So looking at the use of database for approvals and things like that, that's going to require a lot of work bilaterally, multilaterally for trust building. But looking at it in the context of LLP as a way, as a means to get information, whether it be a very thorough document that you have a lot of information for you to make a decision, or at least just getting the name of the company so you can contact your regional rep and say, hey, something's going on. Your product is in my country. Please give me some information to do an assessment. That's it's very useful to start. But like I said, it's all depending on the ultimate goal of where you want to be going on this. So, and I realize that people have limited resources and things like that. So, but I think though having this database, this thinking of doing collaboration is very good.
Thank you very much, Luke. So yes, I actually agree with you that it depends on what we aim at in using the collaborative approach. So okay, that was a very good insight. Thank you very much, Luke. So we have 5 minutes left, and then I would really wanted to have the interactive discussion, but then unfortunately we just lost the chat box somehow, and then we cannot bring that box back. So this is giving us a lesson learned that we have to really up to this technological the thingy. But then just I wanted to summarize that everybody said that country collaboration, I mean between countries, is very useful, and then but then also this importance of the actual mechanism set up. I mean, I guess what I wanted to summarize is that um, it's collaboration is always nice, and then information exchange is always nice. But then if there is no aim, then it has no meaning, no point. I guess that's what it means. And then also there is a binding power sometimes that if you are the members of the organization, or if you are a member of this regional setup, I mean, that like a Nujud was sharing that this GCC framework, I think this would strengthen the regional network, and then also the collaboration and the communication. So I think that this is telling us that okay, if there is a framework, if there is a common aim, if there are willingness and the political will to work together, I think that this can be a huge strength in all kinds of areas: risk assessment, risk management, communication, and everything. So this is something that I am getting from your comments. So now that I would like to hand over the microphone to Manuela, hopefully that she's still online, and then Manuela, hopefully that they can wrap up the webinar and then say final words to everybody. Manuela.
Thank you, Masami. And yes, I'm still here, even though I've been around since 2 o'clock in the morning. But thank you. Thank you to all participants. We heard a wealth of information, and we had a very rich discussion. Just to summarize some points that we heard today, we first had a presentation from Vanessa of Spain, who provided a very thorough overview of how Spain uses the data in the BCH when conducting environmental and health assessments of GMOs. She provided some practical information how to fill out and submit risk assessment summaries to the BCH. And finally, she briefly talked about the third national report that helps the CBD Secretariat as well as parties evaluate the level of implementation of the Cartagena Protocol by different parties. I'm pleased also to inform, for those who are interested, that the third national report, the results of them, will be soon available through the BCH. That should happen either today or tomorrow, actually. Then we had a presentation from Sol of Mexico, who provided an overview of how the BioTrack database of the OECD is structured and how the information is organized. Sol explained how to use and verify unique identifiers of GMOs, which is a tool that was developed by the OECD, which is very useful to identify individual GMOs. She explained that information can be accessed via the unique identifiers, or going by the organisms, or even the companies that developed the GMOs, or countries that have submitted information to the BioTrack database. And she explained how these different entry points help her organize and search for information in the BioTrack database, and how this data is used by the different competent authorities in Mexico. Then we had a presentation from Luke also, who explains how the creation of the FAO GM food database was created to address a need of countries who have approved or who are considering the approval of GMOs for food and feed use. He showed how Canada is actively using the FAO database to share information on over 200 records submitted by Canada. That's quite impressive. He further noted how the information food assessment is cross-linked between the FAO and the OECD databases, and how that information could serve as a resource to review, for example, safety assessments conducted by other countries, including cases of low-level presence or cases of GMOs that have not been approved in Canada or any other country, but he spoke particularly about Canada. In addition to the presenters, we also heard from Angela from Moldova and Karen from Germany, explaining how they use the information contained in the three databases, focusing on the BCH, in the case of Angela, and Karen on the OECD BioTrack database. And they particularly noted how the databases help them in the detection and identification of LMOs. And in the case of Angela, she also mentioned how Moldova has used the experts from the roster of experts in the BCH. We We then heard from Masami, who provided who explained some comments provided by Nujad of Bahrain, who unfortunately had problems with her microphone. And I think this we can be. I think you all share my feeling that all these different perspectives and practical tips, both by the presenters and active participants, were very helpful and highly enriching the discussion. To me, in particular, one thing that becomes even more evident after listening to the presentations and reading your comments in the chat box while we still had it, is the importance of streamlining communication at the national level between the different national authorities. For example, those authorities involved in environment assessment as well as food and safety assessment, to ensure that the coherence of information submitted by countries to the different databases. Now, towards the end, we also heard experiences related to the importance of collaborating between countries, and this is something that we definitely need to follow up more closely. It's even more evident now that the three databases are different, however complementary, and this highlights the need also for the three databases who are responsible, for the three organizations responsible for the three databases to work together to provide information that's complete and to the extent possible harmonized among databases. We have a practical example already of a level of collaboration, which is the use of the unique identifiers as the core and central information to then branch out information on the three databases. But it's clear that more can be done to harmonize the information in a way that helps countries use the three databases in an effective manner. From my perspective, this webinar was also very useful as the organizers in planning future activities. We focusing particularly in the manner that the three organizations can improve the effective use of the databases. Finally, we are coming to the end. I would like to again thank the participants, the presenters, and all of the participants who shared comments and questions in the chat box, as well as the co-organizers from FAO and OECD for very skillfully conducting and organizing the webinar. And for me at least, and I believe you will all share this sentiment, that it was very interesting to participate in this lively discussion. I look forward to sharing ideas again, hopefully in the fourth webinar sometime in 2016, excuse me. Thank you to all, and Masami, back to you.
Thank you so much, Manuela. That was a very nice closing. Usually things in the chat box, so I really miss this situation. But then I would say, on behalf of everybody, I would like to send a warm goodbye to everybody, and then thanks so much to the presenters. Thank you so much for the active participants. And if you liked the webinars, please send us your feedback by email. Then we will be very happy to receive your questions, comments, feedback about this session of the webinar through email. We will follow up with you after the webinar, and then we will receive our email so that you can easily reply and then provide us with your feedback. So thank you very much, and thank you Taka and Bertrand and Pete from OECD and Manuela from CBD. Thank you very much, and have a great day, evening, afternoon, night, whatever you are having. Thank you very much.